Welcome back to the Nerdrotic podcast. My name is Gary Buechler. I'm live in San Francisco, California, and I come to you from nerdrotic.com. And down in San Diego is my good friend and co-host and my buddy, Dennis Bithoulkas. What is up, Dennis?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm doing great. And we are also joined by the great Susan Leighton from 1428elm.com, who's going to be a regular fixture here on Friday night. I'm so excited. How are you, Susan?
Nice. Me too.
Hey, I'm doing great, Gary and Dennis. Thanks. Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Our pleasure. The more the merrier. And this is we're going to actually cover a TV show tonight. Very non-spoiler, very brief. It's an open podcast where you in the chat kind of guide us. Hello, Viking Bitch and Pen Farm Girl and Matt S. How are you? Happy Friday 13th, everybody.
Yes.
And here's something I want you all to think about, and I'm going to shout this out when there's Rebirth Mortal Comics. Hello. I want you all to think about this, and we're going to get back to it later. I want you to think about the luckiest moment that's ever happened in your life. I want to hear about it. Okay. And it could be like somebody walking into your life, or you not getting hit by a car, or you winning the lottery, or just, I don't know, you having a good day. I want to hear about it. And from you two co-hosts too, just think about it though, ruminate on it a little bit. So we're going to start out.
I want to say one more thing too.
Sure.
It's 13 days until this happens.
Until you get a fist?
Until I get a fist, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's 13 days until Infinity War.
Man, I can't reach the swear jar. We used to have a swear jar. It was a swear Infinity Gauntlet. It's 13 days until the Infinity Gauntlet. And I will say this with great shame. I am not as excited as I should be about this. Maybe I'm just getting old. I don't know. Maybe that's it. Maybe when it rolls around, I'll be super excited. But okay, so we're going to talk about Lost in Space. It dropped, because that's what all the cool kids call it right now. Dropped, right? They've been saying that for like 20 years. Do people even fucking say that anymore?
Yeah,
it dropped. There you go. It dropped on Netflix today, and I have seen the first episode. Have you guys seen the first episode?
I have.
I have not as of yet, but I know that story back and forth. So I know what's going on with it. Right
on. We're going to keep it spoiler free, so we won't even ruin it for you. And hey, you could still have an opinion on it, because for now it's a free country. I liked it. And again, I actually crawled ahead a couple episodes, but we're going to talk about the first episode. It'll be completely non-spoiler. If we get to any specifics, it will be like what you saw in the trailer, basically. So I don't know. What did you think of it, Dennis?
I liked it. I mean, I just saw the first episode. That's all I saw. I was tempted to dive into the second episode, but I did not. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like the direction that they're going with it. It's in between the TV show and the movie. The tone.
It really is. People pretty much hate the movie, but I actually thought the movie had some elements that were promising.
Yeah.
It was just budget that held it back. And Christ, Gary Oldman was Dr. Smith. That you can't go wrong with that.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, so I love that part. And actually, it had a pretty decent soundtrack too. If you guys remember the soundtrack, it was quite good. It was all, early aughts, as Dennis likes to say, electronic music. And it was the movie.
Love it.
Yes, and it was the movie that knocked Titanic out of #1 at the box office.
That's true.
So
yes.
It was very much like the TV show. To where it's like it's adventure after adventure after adventure. Like this thing goes wrong, and then that thing goes wrong while the other thing is going wrong, and you're put in like these weird, impossible situations. The Robinson family is always getting themselves into some serious trouble. They make some like really weird decisions, and sometimes in this show, you're just given horrible decisions to make. You have to pick. Literally between children, which sucks. There's a cool backstory. In the TV show, you were never told really, you were told the basic knowledge that they were out exploring and they're lost and they're trying to get home. This one goes a little deeper than that. And I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's very cool. It's a nice twist to this.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts out, you start out in the dark, and it fills in it gives you backstory throughout the episode. I'm not going to tell you what that backstory is, but at times the backstory is more interesting than what's actually going on the screen in the current story.
Yeah.
The effects are amazing. So with Altered Carbon and Lost in Space, Netflix has stepped it up like big time. These are cinematic effects to me.
Yeah, they were actually really pouring a lot of money into this, you could tell. And we also get a cameo from the old TV show as well.
We do. Very early on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of surprised. It took me a second, and I was looking, I was like, oh, okay. And then I finally realized who that was, and I was like, wow, that's cool. All right, that's nice.
One thing I completely did not know was John Williams wrote the theme for that song for the original TV series.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember
Yeah.
hearing about that. Yes.
It's one of my favorite all-time themes, and I'm glad they didn't get rid of it. Neil Marshall is behind this. So
okay.
so Neil Marshall, I think he directs the first episode.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. And he's quite good. He's quite good. And the quality is really high on it. I was a little worried. They had to make it modern, right? So they couldn't just have them be a happy family. I mean, God,
Right.
please. But
They were a nuclear family.
yeah, and you got okay. So I'm very sensitive nowadays to the bad dad syndrome that's going on in Hollywood. Like there's been most dads are portrayed pretty badly lately. It's becoming a trope. So I mean, it's good for good storytelling sometimes, but it's getting a bit much. I actually am planning a video, and this was Viking Bitch's idea. Where Jay and I are going to do a video on Father's Day about this very situation, and we're going to try to be even-handed about it because dads are not perfect. But fortunately, in this show, it does it very even-handed. So I'm usually sensitive to that stuff, but the dad is portrayed neither as a good guy or a bad guy. No, pretty much nobody is. We get a little bit of Dr. Smith, and the Dr. Smith story.
That's a twist.
Is a big twist. It is so cool. Dr. Smith, played by the wonderful and talented and beautiful Parker Posey. I love Parker Posey so much. Could not be happier with the show so far. I have skipped ahead a couple episodes. They are quite good. So if you feel like the first one's a little slow, it really isn't, because it picks up at the end. My only gripe, Dennis, is Robbie the Robot. It's my only.
Really? Because I liked what I saw so far.
Well, the concept I like. The look, I'm gonna have to get used to, because that is one of the most classic robots of all time. And no, you could not make them look like, the Robbie the Robot from the series. Still, I would have. I don't know. It doesn't look at all like it. So
no, it doesn't. But the thing is, I liked where this one was going, but I just don't know, because again, I've only seen the first episode. I don't know if this is actually from them or if it's an alien or what it is at the moment. So
we have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
And they don't make it clear in the first episode, and it is part of the mystery of the series, apparently. Like, where did this robot come from? I didn't look at IMDb. I literally got home from work and we started a podcast. So the kid playing Will Robinson is great. And it was so important to have it. Listen, not all kid actors are great. Okay. They're kids. That's fine. But they got a really good kid actor to do this. Actually, all the kids are pretty damn good at it. So very happy with the show. I don't know, hopefully you get a chance to check it out, Susan, and all of you in the chat. I highly recommend it so far. We haven't gone through all of it yet, but give it a try anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. And it remembers to be fun. So it doesn't modernize itself too much to where it's just all dark and dreary and everybody sucks. And,
and, they don't have the sibling rivalry that kind of marred, I think, the movie.
Yes. Oh, I remember that.
I remember that was just horrible, especially what's her name? Lacey Chabert.
Yeah.
Oh God, that her. over enunciation and overacting of everything, and especially the eye blinks where she was doing this all the time. And I'm just like, do you have something in your eyes?
What
What's
eye
going
blanks?
on?
What are you talking about?
It was horrible.
Well, it sounds like it's almost a throwback to the original where, they were like siblings. You have your sometimes squabbles, but for the most part, all of them, got along on the original show.
Yeah. I mean,
and it sounds like it's throwing back a little bit to the original with that concept.
it's like I said, it's a happy medium between the old TV series and the movie.
Yep. And Doug's correct. It says Robbie the robot is from Forbidden Planet. You are correct.
Yes.
It is but it's also in Lost in Space, same damn robot, pretty much. So I love the crap out of that show, and I'm surprised it's taken them. Maybe the movie kind of hurt it from being remade sooner, but I'm glad they waited because the effects are better. And Marvin is the robot. Okay, Matt.
Oh yeah,
Marvin, the paranoid android. That's my robot. So let's get to this chat. Will the robot kill the Robinsons?
Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. It's a possibility.
It might be in his programming. We don't know for sure.
Alexandra says, I saw Westworld in the title. I clicked. That's why I put it there. We're not really going to talk about it. Just kidding. We are.
What's Westworld?
Westworld. Dennis and I, and Susan, you're welcome too. At some point before Westworld comes out, we'll be doing a full Westworld preview. So,
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Penn Farm Girl says, maybe I need to rewatch the movie. I guess I was in the wrong frame of mind. I wasn't impressed, except for Oldman. No, you were right about the movie.
That's exactly how we feel about it. I like Oldman in anything.
Yeah,
but the movie's pretty bad.
It's a shame because on paper, I could see where that film looked good. You've got William Hurt, who's an excellent actor. You've got Oldman, who's just, he's phenomenal. He becomes every character. And if there's one person that could have taken the mantle from Jonathan Harris, he was the man.
Yeah.
Even Matt LeBlanc on paper, I know Joey Tribbiani, but he was sort of Don West-like,
there's actually a line that he has in that movie where he says, and the monkey pushes the button. I use that at work quite often.
Yes. I do too, right before I press a button. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Matt, it's funny is the guy that got kind of playing his character in the TV show kind of looks like him. So
yeah,
it's
Mark Goddard.
No, the other thing I don't like Mac LeBlanc about is going on Top Gear.
No, let's not get me started on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. Then we're gonna see eye to eye on that, Susan.
Yes, right there.
Yeah.
So we want to dive into the news a little bit?
We can. Let's. I'm gonna kind of go over to the chat, but yeah, go ahead and hit the news.
So the first thing we're gonna cover, and we've kind of covered this last week, but it's reared its ugly head again, is the Stan Lee stuff about elder abuse claims, and a video surfaced recently of him at Silicon Valley Comic-Con, which just happened last weekend, of him sitting there and being told how to spell his name by his handler. Really horrible video. And I mean, Stan looks terrible. And, basically this, if anything, someone needs to step in at this point, and they need to set up a conservatorship for, his fortune. They need to get people away from him. And, basically needs to go into you have child protective services. You need like an elder protective services at this point.
Well, Kevin Smith came out, and I think comicbook.com reported on it. And Kevin said, he is offering to Stan Lee to come and live with him.
Yeah.
Basically, because he's so upset about what's going on with him.
Yeah, and it's getting weirder because Stan put out a video today threatening to sue, and we got to be careful too. Allegedly on everything, by the way. And Stan, we love you. We got your best interest at heart. We're not there. We don't know what's going on. TMZ is reporting on a lot of this stuff. Yeah, that I saw that video, and I mean, he is a 95-year-old man. Okay, so and he's suffering from pneumonia. But man, it's hard. It's hard to watch. And yeah, I wish he would just stop signing stuff. Excuse me, some of our friends here. Hello, Ed Brewer. Some of our fellow live streamers. One in particular had a video flag just for merely talking about this. We don't want that to happen, of course. And we, I don't know who was behind that. It was probably one of that person's rivals, to be honest with you. I don't think it was Stan Lee, but the other videos are starting to get flagged on this. So
yeah, so that whole video of him saying that he would sue the ass, of people for claiming elder abuse. The weird thing about that whole video is it's actually copyrighted by Kia Morgan. He's the latest handler who's kind of pushed everyone else out.
Yeah.
And it's just weird that he would copyright that video that's supposedly by Stan that was sent to TMZ. It just is very odd.
That's very, very odd. And what I posed, which I won't get into here, because it would have to be allegedly in front of everything I would say. But the whole situation just does not seem right. While the video in tone sounds like Stan, because he's very feisty, everybody knows that, you still watch it and wonder, was it allegedly scripted? Is it,
Yeah.
you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I'd say allegedly, yes.
Right.
It is way more complicated than I want to get into here because I am paranoid about us getting flagged. Stan, just get better. And whoever's taking care of Stan, please have his best interest at heart. Okay. Because I believe in karma. I really do. I really do.
Yes.
Yeah,
really, really
and the
do.
other thing too about the Silicon Valley thing was there were some tweets of people that had been in line that normally with Stan it used to be like you'd have 2 items or 5 items that he would sign. That was it.
Yep.
Supposedly it was anything and everything that could be shoved in front of him was being signed. There was no limit.
Don't even get me started on that, since I was at 2 book signings this summer, and I can attest to you, if you're in line and somebody comes up with a whole box of memorabilia, I can see why people would be very annoyed at that. That's rude and it's inconsiderate. And at Stan shouldn't be having to sign all that stuff.
No.
2's enough for him at this age. He's 95. 2, one and done, move it along. But yeah, I can see why people would be upset.
Yeah.
And that puts the creator in such a bad position because they got to look like the bad guy. And that is the worst kind of collector that does that. Hi, Johnny Pappas, that does that kind of stuff. I mean, that is the soulless collector, which I ran into quite a bit in the store. Not a big fan.
Yeah, like when I saw Bruce at the Man with the Screaming Brain, and there was a signing. They didn't have okay, take that back. They had a limit on 5 items that you could have.
Wow.
And I had, what was it, his book, because that was one of the things that had to be signed. Was his book, because it was also his book, the first book, Hail to the Chin, and no, excuse me, Confessions of
No, if Chins Could Kill.
If Chins Could Kill, thank you. Yep. I get confused of all the different items.
Too many.
Yeah, and the only other thing I brought was a soundtrack to Bubba Hotep.
Nice.
Because Don Coscarelli had signed it, and also Brian Tyler had signed it. So I was like, I'll go for the trifecta, and I'll get Bruce to sign it as well.
That's great. I mean, just briefly on that, because I was at his recent book signing in his 2 of them in Philly and Orlando. And all I'm going to say about Philly, it was at a Barnes and Noble. And there were a couple of people that didn't pay attention to the rules, because now Bruce much like Stan Lee, and this seems to be protocol with everyone, only signs 2 items.
Yeah.
And they have to be with his career. There was one person in particular that basically was in some show that that was affiliated with Evil Dead, that had Bruce signing like tickets and all these items, and they did a video of it, and you can see on his face he's not enjoying it. So if people did that at Stan Lee, just cut it out. Quit being so rude and inconsiderate. Other people are in line.
Yep, and the Silicon Valley con is a good con. I know some of the people who put it on; they're good people, and I can't speak for them. I know they can't be happy about this. I know they can't be happy about this,
especially since their name is being attached.
Right.
Yes, and again, they are very good people, genuine people who just love comics, who want to put on the show, and it's backed by Steve Wozniak too.
But that's not their fault, though.
No, absolutely not.
And that's a shame that they're in that position, because they're just running the thing. The people that are handling Stan, that's where the issue would be.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly, Viking bitch. Don't be an asshole. That's one of our, or as we say, don't be a dick.
Yes, don't be a dick. Even if it's allegedly, don't be a dick. There's no allegedly about it. Just don't be a dick.
Especially please. At cons. At cons, don't be a dick. I mean, you're there to have fun. I'm sorry?
I want it to be a t-shirt. Don't be a dick at whatever Comic-Con or whatever. I would wear that proudly.
There we go. There's our new t-shirt design.
There is. We're trying to work on one. Yeah, the last thing we were working on was your interviews are too long, or what? Your reviews are too long. Your reviews are too long.
I think that's what we should do, is just a whole bunch of words. We'll just do transcripts from one of our podcasts, and then right across the middle of it, your podcasts are too long.
Right. Well, YouTube's done their best to cut me out. So the 3-hour live streams can't do them. I can't do them. But YouTube did a very passive aggressive thing to our channel, and I'm sure some of you noticed it. That if we go over 2 hours, they cut out. Say I go 2 hours and 30 minutes. They'll cut out the first 30 minutes of the live stream to make it just 2 hours for 24 hours. So a day goes by and then you get the full live stream. But for the first 24 hours, it's just the last 2 hours of the live stream. Been back and forth with this with them on this, and I've gotten kind of nothing. They say nothing's wrong. So I don't know.
Viking bitch says there are t-shirts with a big whale that say "Don't be a dick."
Oh, I love it. I love it.
No, Ed. no, Ed. No.
No, not gonna be soon. Johnny Papa says, just started reading The Boys. Wow. Yeah, and it gets weirder, Johnny. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's great. Well done, Johnny.
Yeah.
The show's gonna be fun. That's gonna be a good show.
Yeah. Davis 404 says, don't be a dick is Will Wheaton's law.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Robertson news.
Oh, hey.
Tentatively May 6th, Sunday, May 6th, live on the Nerdrotic channel. Bring your questions. Yes. So just chatted with him very briefly, because he's a busy guy. But I just finally said, listen, man, here's like 3 dates. Pick one. And he picked May 6th. Now, things could happen between now and then, but we're looking at that tentatively. And we have made contact with Doomcock. We are definitely doing something now. It's going to be in like a couple weeks. He did a great Expanse video, by the way. Very positive, great Expanse video today.
One of my coworkers actually just messaged me via chat here. Melissa, and she asked, because I believe she's watching, she says, can you guys just do 2 back-to-back live streams, or are you guys limited to 2 hours per day to not do the funky streaming thing?
We can do back-to-back. If people want to do that, if we're like still rolling at 2 hours, then what I would do is I'll stop it at 2 hours and we'll restart another one. Yes, absolutely. We could call it like Nerdrotic After Hours or something like that.
Ooh, I like that.
No problem. So if you guys are still feeling it at the 2-hour mark and want to keep going, no problem. We'll just start another one.
Sweet.
We are here to please.
Gary, since I know you have that picture ready, we're going to go to our next news item.
What picture is ready?
Is the DC Titans or DC streaming
I
service.
so don't have that picture ready, but I will have it ready. Give me a second.
Okay.
You can talk about it.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. So basically, DC streaming service is doing Titans, which is the live action Teen Titans, and we've already seen what Robin looks like. We got
pretty damn good.
Yeah, he looks pretty damn good. We just got pictures of Starfire, Beast Boy, and Raven in costume.
Oh my god, which line is it here? You have so many lines here.
It's the fourth one down.
Fourth one down. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, that should take you to it. But yeah, it's
sweet Jesus. I'm sure a lot of people saw this, and you know what? I'm not gonna. Other people have already said it on the internet. We'll just say world's oldest profession.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah. And I didn't know that Raven became transgender. It's
sweet Jesus of Anaheim. Yeah. Oh, look at that Starlog. Remember Starlog? I love Starlog. The little. Is this still around? Is this still a magazine?
I think it's online. I think it's still online.
God, me and Doug used to read the crap out of our Starlog.
I did too. Yeah.
Okay, that looks effing awful. So I take back every good thing I said. And you know what? And some of you guys in the chat were right. You're like, no, this show's probably going to suck. And I'm like, I don't know. The Robin looks pretty good. But that Robin picture is heavily touched up in Photoshop.
Yep.
It's darkened and everything. And now, DC streaming. This is probably the worst possible thing that could have happened to your entire streaming service was this picture getting out. This is horrible. I don't know. Does anybody like this?
it's just, bad. That's all I'm going to say. But like I said, maybe it'll look better in post.
If they actually make her a different looking person. I mean, the girl is pretty. She's a pretty girl. I have no problem with her playing Starfire at all. And the one that was playing Raven, they I don't understand that.
I don't know what they did to her, but they really
looks like some of the people I used to like tweak with back in the 80s, you know. and I'm talking like on the 5th or 6th day. No offense, but come on, calling it like it is. It's the jacket looks kind of close to the Beast Boy costume, but it's just a jacket and he's got green hair. And if they were going to do that in post, you'd see little dots all over their faces, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's not going to happen in post.
That's my joke. I know.
Yeah. And they fix it in post. That's as bad as creative differences is fix it in post. So I can't look at that anymore. So I'm going to stop. And I'm very depressed now because I love the Teen Titans. It's my favorite DC comic. And that was terrible. That was bloody awful.
And that's why I front loaded this news with all the bad news first, so we can get all the good news to make up for it. Oh, hey, Dakota Stanton just gave us $10. Can't watch live, but have fun tonight. Thank you so much.
Dakota, again, thank you so much. And you can always watch it in the video, and we'll thank you very much. We'll thank you many times throughout the episode.
Yes.
So thank you. That was very generous. Apple Crow's birthday is May 6th. I knew that. That's why I did it for you. Happy birthday, Apple
Crow. So we had the new Incredibles 2 trailer just dropped this morning. Did you guys get a chance to see it?
Yes.
That was awesome.
God, I hate to sound like this, but of course it's awesome. That was probably a perfect superhero movie, and it's going to be a perfect superhero movie sequel. I can't wait. I have nothing to add on top of that. Sorry, it's boring podcasting, but it's really good.
What I liked about it was how, of course, we're going back to the Incredibles, which I loved, but I liked the Mr. Mom vibe of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How Elastigirl goes to work and leaving, Bob behind. He's so inept with the kids. And then you've got the Mission Impossible effects, kind of like the Bond-esque, especially the one scene that I saw looked just like Tom Cruise from the first Mission Impossible when he goes to get on the train. It's just, the effects are great. The storyline, I just think it's going to be a win for them.
Yeah.
And they need a win right now. I mean, their stuff has never been bad. It's done but they've kind of just mellowed out. They've gotten kind of mediocre, and not in their quality, but in their box office. I don't know what that is, but they tried some different things. But yeah, and I know they don't like to do sequels, but this is like the one sequel I wanted.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too. The Incredibles is my favorite Pixar movie. I know everyone says Toy Story 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But no, it's The Incredibles. The Incredibles is the perfect story. I've watched it so many times and I never get tired of it. It's paced correctly. There's never a dull moment. Everything's just well done. So well thought out.
It's written well. The characters have depth, for a cartoon movie basically. And it seems like they're just building on that with Incredibles 2. Even Frozone and the bromance. I mean, that's going to be funny as hell.
Yeah. When they're taking care of the baby and he's the baby disappears. He's like, I got a cookie. And all of a sudden he comes back and what the hell? Where did he come from?
It makes me think like maybe the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't live action. Wouldn't it be awesome if they gave it to Pixar and said, like, do a series of movies based on Marvel properties and like adapt, Marvel stories, Marvel crossovers, or like have Pixar do Kraven's Last Hunt or something like that, and like do a true comic book version of it with Pixar animation. That would be great. That would just make, I don't know, just $1 billion, maybe $1 billion. I don't know.
Easily. And I mean, you wouldn't have to worry about the effects because all the effects are there. You don't have to worry about the actors getting hurt or anything like that either.
Oh, you get top rate. You can bring Chris Evans back. Robert Downey Jr. can play Iron Man forever. I mean, I'd be totally, for one, that would be the best way to do the Fantastic Four. Although after seeing Lost in Space, that's kind of a way you can do the Fantastic Four too. Just saying. Doug says the Internet Archive has the first 200 issues of Starlog available for download. Good quality too. I did not need to know that. I don't have time for that.
Apple Crow says, I hope Violet is much older in this one because I have a crush on Sarah Vowell. No, it takes place pretty much right after the movie ended. So, yeah, she's still the same age, you perv.
Yeah. But if you keep it to yourself, nobody will judge you. Sarah Vowell is my age, right? So it's okay. Yeah. She's a Berkeley girl, right? Isn't she?
Is. She is a Berkeley girl. I just have to say my favorite line out of that trailer was, what does imminent combustion mean? And also you see the baby like catch on fire behind the glass. It means he's going to catch fire.
Edna Mole coming back.
Yeah.
Wait, where is she? She's behind me somewhere.
I think she's over to
your other shoulder. There she is. That is my favorite toy right there.
Oh, I love her.
She says 67 different things.
Okay. And to think that was that Brad Bird's voice?
It is Brad Bird's voice.
Yes.
Oh, we went to that panel, remember? Oh,
yeah,
God.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully there's an Incredible 2's panel this year. I mean, when's it coming out? Is it coming out Christmas?
It's coming out this year. It comes out May.
Oh, so there won't be then. Unless they do
June.
Yeah, because Comic-Con's in July.
They still might do something. Who knows?
Yeah.
So who knows?
Another good news: Jessica Jones has been renewed for season 3 by Netflix.
It's only good news if David Tennant comes back. Sorry. Go back and go see all of our. We did 3 podcasts on her.
Yep.
On season 2. I don't know. How did you feel about season 2? Did you watch Jessica Jones, Susan?
No, I didn't watch it. I mean, like I said, I'm well aware of a lot of things, and I know about, the dark story about behind her, and it seems like the fans either they like it or they're disappointed with it. I've heard positive things about Kristen Ritter and her performance in it. As for David Tennant, I think he's doing a lot of movies now. I think he's got one coming out called Good Samaritan, I believe. So he's kind of tied up at the moment.
Yep. Dennis and I pretty much felt the same way, which is Kristen Ritter was great. She does a great job as Jessica Jones. Problem is Jessica Jones ended up in the same place she did after the first season. We're in the exact same place, except she's got one less friend. Actually. So that's the only difference is she's got one less friend.
And another 2 more deaths under her belt too. So.
Yeah. So she needs to go to a meeting. We need some serious AA, not just anger management, not for one. The series was disappointing to me. I think it was disappointing to a lot of people. And it tried to be kind of postmodern. There's there's no bad guys, man. It's just it's just a bunch of grays. I mean, this is supposed to be a different superhero show, but it still needs a good superhero is only as good as their villain. How many times have we heard that? So, and if you don't have one, yeah.
I think a lot of times it seems like with some of the adaptations we're getting, it gets very dark. Now, Batman is a dark story, obviously, but it seems like the villains are replaced by the demons in the hero in some cases. The darkness in the hero, which is fine if it's not a superhero movie where there's supposed to be an antagonist, you're supposed to be fighting evil. I mean, I understand the internal conflict can be fascinating, but you do, like Gary said, you have to have that villain. I mean, it's almost like a trope. It is a trope in any superhero.
Hi, Feisty Fan. By the way, I also want to say hi to Feisty Fan who just came in and joined us. Definitely. We've been talking about another book, another comic called Irredeemable amongst ourselves offline here.
Yeah.
And that has a great villain who's also a hero.
Ooh.
Yeah. Dennis and I will do for one, I think we were talking back and forth. We both need to reread it. It's been so many years, but just a quick overview on Irredeemable. It's written by Mark Waid in his Mark Waid was on a roll about 5 years ago. I don't know what happened. I honestly don't know what happened in the last 5 years, but like 5 years ago, he was writing a damn good Daredevil and he was writing Irredeemable. Irredeemable is if Superman went batshit crazy and like there was no chance at all of him coming back, like no saving him. It's like, because all the heroes would like spend a bunch of time trying to save Superman because they know it was good. We were at the point where like, okay, he's gone, and it'd be basically Batman has to team up with Lex Luthor and the freaking Joker and everybody to stop Superman.
And Superman's killed half of your heroes to begin with.
Yep.
And almost half the population of the world.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's very dark.
It's really dark. And the reason he goes nuts is pretty bad.
Yeah.
it's like, really? But it's a big what if. It's like, what if somebody this powerful like lost their shit? And they played with that a little with Sentry in the Marvel comics, but this is way, 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 way better. The only complaint about it at all is there's some inconsistent art, but Mark Waid's finest hour. Absolutely. Yeah. It has the ending is unbelievable. And a good story is only as good as its ending. Like even a kind of a boring story, if it has, hey, how many Game of Thrones episodes were, and I'm a huge fan, okay, where a bunch of people walking around, but then there's a red wedding at the end and you're like, God damn, so a good ending can make everything. Irredeemable. Even if you don't read comics, read this book Go out and find it digital. Anyway, it would make a great book. Period.
Ed Brewer says it's called Injustice. Yeah, Injustice got their idea
From Irredeemable.
years ago from Irredeemable.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I mean, I love Injustice. Don't get me wrong; it's a great game. It was a good book too, but Irredeemable is like, you got Injustice here and Irredeemable someplace up here.
And honestly, DC has played with that before, with the Injustice Society and stuff way before that.
Red Sun, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But what Mark Waid did is just like turned it up to 11, 12 or 13, because it's really freaking brutal. But Injustice is damn good too. Don't get us wrong. We love the Injustice.
Johnny Papa says, but it wasn't Superman. That's what you're leaving out. Yeah, it wasn't Superman.
No, it's not. It's a Superman type character. So it's very Watchmen like. They take what the idea of DC and Marvel characters and put new names on them and stuff, just like Watchmen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Matt S says Dennis showing off the pythons. No. The normal. Amazon is doing Lord of the Rings series, in case you haven't heard. And it's just been kind of verified that they have a 5-season guarantee with the Tolkien estate. They've paid $250 million for just the rights alone. And it's now estimated that this series, just for the 5 seasons and the rights and everything, is going to cost well over $1 billion. That's $1 billion with a B, boys and girls.
And did you read the caveat that's in there? That they have to produce it within 2 years.
Yeah.
They got 2 years from right now to produce the show.
Yep.
And then there's the added fun of at any time they're predicting Bob Weinstein, because Harvey's kind of tied up, that Bob Weinstein can just come waltzing in because they had the rights back in 1998 and start legal litigation. I mean, I don't know. I look at it. We had these movies, right? One of them is Academy Award winning. A lot of effects. People love them. I just don't get this compelling need to go back. Howard Zend is another example on Stars. Why must we take these movies and then move them to TV? Now, granted, I can hear somebody saying that loves this Tolkien series saying, well, you can show every little nuance. You can show everything from the book. Okay, but $1 billion, I know Amazon, makes a shit ton of money. I know they're very wealthy. But what if this thing tanks? I mean, it's not going to make them go belly up. But I mean, to me, this just does not seem like good business sense. Then again, what do I know? I'm not an executive there.
What did the franchise make, Gary, for Lord of the Rings so far?
Lord of the Rings, it's made $1 billion. It's made $1 billion.
I think over that now, right?
A little over that. But if they invest $1 billion just in the rights,
right?
Okay, they're gonna have to make like $3 billion to make any money.
Yeah, $250 million for the rights, $1 billion total for with the rights and the series, and
they haven't cast anybody though.
No, they haven't.
Got to pay actors. They got to pay crew. They got to pay production. They got to guarantee 5 years. I mean,
the thing. I get that they're good. They want a franchise because the idea was a Game of Thrones. They wanted their own Game of Thrones. Great. Okay, that's fine. But this show is going to be up against probably the upcoming Showtime Lin-Manuel Miranda and possibly Sam Raimi doing Patrick Rothfuss's Chronicles, which everybody wants to see. So that's more, I don't want to say it's more original, but yeah, it is, because there hasn't been an adaptation of it.
And then there's the Witcher series coming out on Netflix too.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, there's going to be way more young. I don't know. Lord of the Rings is still going to get the most eyes, but The Witcher, just in the community that we're in, I roll around a lot of YouTube channels. And Ed, some of us are in here, like Ed Brewer. We're like on a lot of different streams and stuff and chatting away. And it seems like The Witcher is getting like the most play because that's got gamer interest and it's a pretty decent book as well. I've got it on audiobook. It's not bad. It's actually kind of kick ass, to be honest with you, and it's based on why am I blanking? I'm looking over at the graphic novel right now. Elric. So it's based a little bit on Elric, and it's that one. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of competition. So I totally get where you're coming from, Susan. Like if it was just a normal show where they're going to try one season and they put in a normal amount of money, all for it. $1 billion is obscene. It's obscene.
Well, what's funny is the guy that originally got this deal going is no longer with Amazon, which is interesting. It's like Bezos is like, bye, so I don't know. It'll be interesting.
It will be interesting, and we will cover it. And if it's good, great. I mean, I hope so.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't feel like they need to take Lord of the Rings and modernize it and make it Game of Thrones. Because I don't need to see like Legolas having sex. I don't.
Ew, no.
Yeah.
And you can have the hobbits having sex too. Johnny Poppins. Johnny Poppins says, but
the dwarves. Maybe the dwarves, but.
Johnny Papa says, but they will be selling related merchandise and books and everything else. Think about that.
That is true, Johnny. That is a very good point. Toys and all that stuff, and if they can make it their Star Wars, you're right. Then they'll make that money tenfold. If they do a good job on the figures and get enough people involved in it, and don't do what Star Wars did. Don't make the mistake Star Wars did.
Sorry, Apple Crow with lesbian hobbits.
You joke?
That'll happen.
Oh yeah, I already predicted what I say. Legolas is going to be gay. I mean, not there's anything wrong with that, but I don't need to know who my Lord of the Rings characters are screwing, straight or gay or anything. I don't need to know it. It's a story about survival and friendship. And, it's not about it's not about that. I don't need to know. I know how the hobbits got there. Okay, Jesus.
And because Doug already brought this up here in our chat, I'm going to bring it up now. Apple bought the rights to do Asimov's The Foundation series as a TV series. And it's being written by David S. Goyer and Josh Friedman.
Oh, I'm like,
I had to bring you up and bring you back down. That's all.
Well, Goyer's not doing a terrible job on Krypton. Okay, Krypton. I'm saying it like an old man now. Krypton. It's a good show.
Krypton. You know that.
What the fuck?
When all the kids are doing the Krypton.
I mean, I'm happy to. That needs that. I'm surprised it's taken that long for with all the sci-fi stuff that's going on. I'm glad sci-fi's come back. Love me some sci-fi.
Yeah.
Expanse. Watch the fucking Expanse. It's the best show on TV. It's the best sci-fi show on TV. But David S. Goyer, I don't know. Maybe the other guy, what did you say, Friedman?
Josh Friedman. Yeah,
Friedman?
He's worked with Goyer before, and that's all I'm going to say.
Maybe Goyer gets good. You know what? Maybe he turns it around. Like
we say that all the time, man. We go, yeah, well, maybe he'll do good.
We're getting him on TV finally, so that's good. That is a good thing. We need.
Well, it's Apple though, so we don't know where we're going to get it on TV.
There'll be money involved.
True.
Has Foundation ever been adapted? That is a good question. How's your father? I do not know.
No, it hasn't. It's tried to be adapted. It's been optioned before, but never made it to series.
Doug says BBC Radio.
Yeah, that's the only. I mean, yeah, you could do BBC Radio, but not as a TV series.
I love BBC Radio dramas. They're so good.
We also this week had a new trailer for Solo, a Star Wars story.
We did real quick. Johnny Pappas, if Ronald D. Moore is involved, then that show is going to rock all day long. The Solo trailer. What did you all think of the Solo trailer, everybody? I watched it a couple times, and I talked about it on actually another stream. It's very suspect that they waited till about 2/3 of the way through for him to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell it was dubbed. His voice does sound better, though. I'll admit it sounds better, but the delivery of that line where he's talking to Lando, he's all, "I've heard stories about you." And then Donald Glover delivers a beautiful line like, everything you've heard about me is true. It's like, that was cool. And I'm in agreement with pretty much everybody that Donald Glover looks kind of badass as Lando. Maybe that's the movie we should be seeing. And again, I don't want to bash on the kid, and we're not bashing on Star Wars. We're not doing that here. It looked okay. I mean, the train stuff looks cool. It looks like set pieces for toys, and it looks like it might be fun. Maybe.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say maybe the side movies are going to be the what are they called? The stories. I forgot what they're called, but maybe they're going to be the more interesting.
They have
a name for them, but yeah. But this is honestly, this is not the movie I want to see. All I'm going to think about for 2 hours, and this is just my personal thing, is he's dead. He got killed by his son. He's dead, which bums me out. So
it's interesting that they are going back to what started Star Wars in the idea of the Western. I mean, you get a very gunslinger Western feel from Han Solo from seeing this trailer. At least that's what I carried away from it. So it's almost like they're going back to Lucas's original thoughts on, the good guys, the bad guys, with a lot of the futuristic elements going, coming through with it. It's kind of hard to play Harrison Ford. It's hard as an actor if that's who you're supposed to be. That's because you're going to try to look at film of Ford, and then you run the risk of, is this a character or a caricature? And I had to laugh with your little tagline there about the Star Wars cosplay. I mean, the trailer. It just you have to be true. It's almost like you have to get that essence of Ford's portrayal as Han Solo. You can't mimic him. And I couldn't figure out, was this kid wanting to be John Wayne? What was he doing? But Donald Glover, definitely as Lando, yeah, that should be a story coming up.
Yeah.
But whenever, there's rumblings that they want Leia's story now.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Carrie Fisher, how are we gonna, how is that gonna be done?
No.
Yeah.
Man of Action, I'm with you. I'm done with Star Wars. I mean, I'm not going to see the movie. I'm not going. I'm not going to see it. So it doesn't really. I mean, I saw the trailer. It didn't move me enough to want to go see it, and I am completely at apathy. There's other stuff. I'm going to support something new. I'd rather watch first season of Expanse again than go see Solo, to be honest with you. And that's not poo-pooing anybody else who wants to see it, but I'm right there with you, Man of Action. He says, I'm done with Star Wars at this point. It just seems that they are fucking with us as an audience because they think they can get away with it. It was a bait and switch. The new trilogy out was definitely a bait and switch. And with the Mark Hamill stuff that's going on right now, I think, and we are going to talk about that. But
we'll talk about it now since we kind of dovetails.
The Mark Hamill stuff's out there and it's interesting. We got a kind of a different take on it,
Yeah. So Mark Hamill basically came out and said that he was tired of Star Wars, that he was basically kind of done with it. And this is on Good Morning America. He was on ABC's Good Morning America. And it was basically like a 2-minute long little interview. And he just said it's not fun anymore for him because there's no Han Solo, there's no Leia, of course, and you can't get the band back together again. You can't capture that magic again. And for him, it's not fun to do this anymore. And we've been talking about it. We were talking about it in our very, very long pre-production meeting here. And we were saying that it's kind of like what we're hearing from a lot of these kind of older franchise starters that are still acting in these franchises, like Bruce Campbell as well, that you can't go home again on some of these things, and sometimes you don't want to, without.
We're getting split audiences. Not really. Ash vs. Evil Dead is suffering from a totally different thing than Star Wars is. What Star Wars is going through is nasty, and believe me, this is not what Disney wants. It is not what Disney wants. I think Luke or Mark Hamill knows nobody other than George Lucas knows more about Luke Skywalker than Mark Hamill. He has gone to conventions. I've seen him at many conventions. He's probably thought about Luke's story in his head probably every day for the last 40 years. This is his career. This is his life. This is his legacy. And to him, it's broken. And that's heartbreaking, utterly heartbreaking. And however you feel about The Last Jedi, the time is not going to be nice in that movie. It's sad to see. It really is. It's sad. Now, is he quitting Star Wars? I haven't heard him say that. I haven't heard that at all. I think it's going to take some more money to get him back.
I can tell you there's a petition starting online about getting George Lucas back to direct the franchise.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that started shortly after Last Jedi came out. I know.
Right. And, with like we were talking about, Hamill's almost doing Alec Guinness with this, how he felt about it. And, there gets to be a certain point when something is your baby, and Luke was the baby, of Mark Hamill. When it's your creation and it's your character, when it doesn't become fun anymore, maybe it is time to hang it up, because you're not being fair to yourself. You're not being fair to George Lucas, who created it. If you're phoning it in, you're definitely not being fair to the fans. And if he's at that point, maybe something should happen. That's why Harrison Ford was like, please, kill me off. I don't want to come back regenerated, whatever. Just, this is it for me. And, it's all about fans needing to move on too. You need to move on. There needs to be a progression. And I understand it's with every franchise. It's with Star Wars. It's with Star Trek. Some people are lost in the past, and that's understandable. But if he's not having fun, if he does come back, it's going to be because money. And then how good is the performance going to be? He is a professional. He'll probably do well. But, if he phones it in, people are going to know. And then it's going to be a bloodbath for him online.
I feel that if he is to come back, that this might be, well, it is a bit of a negotiation technique, and it's not for money. I think it's for some creative say. I think he's going to I'll come back, but this is what you got to do. He's corporeal again. He's solid. He just disappeared for a little while. We're going to bring Luke back, and then we're going to give him another exit, which I can completely see them doing. I don't know if he's done. I saw Johnny in there saying, say something about being over dramatic, and I don't know if that was referring to me or Luke, or I keep saying Luke. Mark Hamill. He is an actor. He wears his heart in his sleeve. He's always been like this. He's very outspoken. So to think that they could keep his mouth shut for any amount of time was kind of funny, because he's not going to. But again, I mean, I don't think I think he is hurt. I think he is. I don't think that's hyperbole at all. I he'll get over it. He's a man. He's a grown ass man. But he's still mourning this. He's mourning the loss of Luke and not going out the way he thought it should. And it's kind of a bummer to see. But there is some truth to what Susan says too. It's fans got to move on too. Stuff gets modernized. But thank you, Viking bitch. Susan is magic. Susan is magic, says Viking bitch. She is.
Thank you.
And I will agree with you with I don't think a lot of us who especially against Star Trek and other stuff, it's not about the modernization. That's not what's bothering. It's about the treatment in the past and just the piss poor writing. I mean, I think you modernize the crap out of something if it's a good story. I don't care.
Yeah.
But it hasn't. Some of the stuff really hasn't been, in my opinion.
Man of Action says he saw the script, he being Mark Hamill, after he already committed, is what he said. And then his first interviews, he was like, yeah, it's not what we expected. Then he was hostile about it, then in denial, then he got out of the line of fire about it.
And that's true. Actually, he had committed, which I did not know this, but there's an interview out there that Carrie and Harrison and Luke all committed to George. And this was they committed to him, and then the Disney sale happened.
Yep.
So it was in the works, which is funny because George said quite clearly that he wasn't doing any more Star Wars. Like he was done with Star Wars, but behind the scenes, he was getting it ready. And I'll be honest, I would have rather seen his version, to be honest with you. Force Awakens, I'll say it again, looks a lot better next to The Last Jedi. It really does. I mean, that's at least a cohesive movie, but it's been said to death, and just the Mark Hamill thing, and it's just like thing after thing after thing comes out. But I'm like, I'll leave it up to the chat, and I'll leave it up to my co-hosts. If we never talk about Star Wars again, I'd be fine with that because it doesn't mean that much to me anymore, and it hasn't for a long time. So I'm actually not that devastated at the state of Star Wars, believe it or not. I was actually way more bothered by the 7th season of Game of Thrones. that one got me right in the gut. It did.
Yeah, I know. I had to hear about that for a long time.
Christ almighty.
And yeah, Crypto Dreams, by the way, we are about an hour into it, just so you know.
We are.
This one made me laugh just because of the absurdity of it. But thank you, Johnny Pappas. $1.99. I like good character-driven stories.
Yep.
We all do.
Don't care who that character is. Don't care if that character has no legs and 3 eyes and tentacles coming out of his or her ears, or it's like, don't want to assign any genders here. It could be a genderless tentacle 3-eyed character. If it's compelling, I'm in.
So the artist working on Spidey Pool, or the Spider-Man Deadpool comic, just released, because people have been asking him if he's ever going to draw Deadpool with the movie costume, the movie version of Deadpool's costume. And he says, I already did. And he posted it. But according to him, Marvel lawyers said that he cannot draw the movie costume of Deadpool in the comics because of some kind of legal issue from the movies. So they literally cannot draw a comic book character's movie version of his costume in the comics because they will get sued.
Crazy.
This is where we're at.
Yeah.
This is where we're at.
And the thing that got me about it is they actually made a parody of it, because Deadpool in the Spider-Man Deadpool comic, issue number 6, I believe, they're driving onto the lot of the Deadpool movie. And they're making fun of that they can't show that costume.
Well, he even had to change the Ryan Reynolds character video, because that was it just seems to me, when I hear stories about this and legalities and all these different outfits are involved in the creation of these comics and movies, it makes me wonder. I understand it's a business. I get that. But it seems like these suits, they don't even like comics. They don't even like movies. It's just like it's a commodity to make money. And they end up being creativity killers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there's all these caveats. It's like, well, we can't do Deadpool here because, well, we got this entity that will sue the shit out of us if we put on this costume. And it's just like nonstop. So if you're a creator, it's like, I understand the impetus to go to a studio because those things are expensive. But then by the same token, it's like I'm waiting for somebody just to come up with their own studio and just do these things on their own, because just the state of everything is just like business is killing creativity. And that's why we're getting all this homogenized fare at the box office, on television, on cable. It's just like, can we just stop and maybe let the creators create?
Yeah, Susan, actually, Robert Rodriguez created his own studio out in Texas. So he does and also his own cable channel, which was awesome. I'm just sad that not a lot of people get it. It's the El Rey Network.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's him. He actually did From Dusk Till Dawn, the TV series. He made it into a TV series, which was good for the first 3 seasons. Then it kind of goes off the rails, but it was actually pretty damn good, I have to admit.
Yeah.
And he's brought back luchador wrestling as well on that channel, which is a lot of fun.
He's just not consistent in coming out with stuff. The reason he did that is because he could never meet Hollywood deadlines, so he did his own thing. And honestly, that's the future. People doing their own thing. I mean, like
Yeah.
this is gonna just turning into a hot mess. I'm gonna equate this to in Life, the Universe, and Everything, a great Douglas Adams book. There is a ship that runs on basically it's restaurant mathematics. And it's because they're beyond quantum. They're just like random and quantum. So this ship runs on and it's got a bunch of robots that are dressed as it's an Italian bistro, and the engine runs off the robots getting over tipped and getting your order wrong, and it's all part of the intricacy of the ship running. So like you actually have to get served by the robot, and he brings you like spaghetti when you ordered fish, and it's all part of the drive. The thing more quantum and random is intellectual property law. Like we should develop a ship running on that, because that is the weirdest, dumbest. I had an old friend who was an intellectual property attorney, and that is some murky, not so
nasty stuff,
really nasty stuff. And it really gets down to people getting their asses sued off and losing fortunes over semantics, over wording something wrong, and it's evil.
And
It's
now
evil.
you have personality rights. You have personality rights to do. It's
Mhm.
like it never ends. It's like, anybody can come out of the woodwork, like let's say Stranger Things with what happened to the Duffer Brothers, which they proved it's their concept. It's almost like I feel like I could be sitting at home and, just thinking to myself while I'm watching a TV show, I thought about that when I was in 8th grade. Let me just sue these creators for this. And that's what our world's becoming anymore, especially in entertainment. It's very disheartening, but with technology, my hope is that people start using, thumb drives, what have you, and start making their own stuff. And let's have the 90s come back with independent ventures. Let's get that going again. Then maybe we might see some interesting shit come out of Hollywood. That's just my 2 cents.
And Johnny Papa says, if I'm a shareholder of 20th Century Fox, I agree with what they're doing. And yeah, if you have stock in it, and that's what stops everything. And that's, listen, it's the trade-off. This is what we get. We wanted to see our superhero movies our superheroes in big budget in movies, and we made our collective deal with the devil, and now the devil wants us due. Now everybody's got their fingers in the pie, and it stopped being fun, and it's turned into a business. And we all knew this would happen. This is not a surprise at all. And it'll end someday. The amazing thing is like we're still getting good superhero movies. Like Deadpool is still a good movie. Fox is doing some weird stuff, and it's funny because they're in the middle of a negotiation of a sale, and they're still doing this stuff. So it just tells you. I mean, that's not really Fox. It's some lawyer at Fox. And yeah, I
was gonna say Apple Crow says here, I was just about to ask, can they draw Ryan Reynolds in the comic? They can, but he has to be called Ryan Reynolds. That's what he's being called. And he's got a mustache.
I can argue that they can draw the Deadpool movie costume, and they can draw Ryan Reynolds and call it a parody.
Yes.
There's still parody laws, and where in the hell is the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund in this? Because this is the kind of shit that they protect. And absolutely you can, and there's fair use too, like that whole Stan Lee video being copyrighted for TMZ. We can show it. You can copyright it all day long. There's a thing called fair use. We don't mess around with it here because we always get flagged.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is the worst. They are the worst.
Oh yeah. Savage Ascension says, I actually had intellectual property stolen from RT by the person I pitched it to when I was 13 years old. Completely original concept stolen by a creator at Marvel.
Not surprised at all. That sucks. I'm sorry that happened. I really am. We have Dennis and I have a mutual friend.
Face-to-face pitch. That's what it was. Sorry.
Okay. Who we've talked about it here before, the movie Frequency. So that movie was stolen by a music producer. He stole the script word for word from a mutual friend of ours who ended up making out pretty good after that. Harlan Ellison came to his defense in court. It was quite the battle. I don't know how much I'm supposed to be talking about. That's why I'm not giving the name. But yeah, it's that happens. It's alarming. And they even made a damn TV series about it, which really irked him.
I love me some Harlan Ellison, man. I mean, the guy's a crotchety old man, but you know, he will stick up for people when he knows there's injustice going on, which is kind of cool.
And Super Troopers 2, I just saw that in the chat. I can't wait for that. Hey, talk for a second, Dennis and Susan. I got to open a window.
All right.
In here.
So speaking of that sale that was going on with Fox, Disney, if this is going to sound weird, this is almost as weird as the Deadpool thing. Disney will have to buy Sky if the Fox deal to buy Sky isn't completed before the Disney deal to buy Fox isn't completed.
That's, I had to read that several times.
They have to buy the entire Sky?
Yeah, so not only do they have to buy, when they buy Fox, if it's not done, if Fox's deal with Sky isn't done, then they have to spend more money and buy Sky as well, because it's already in process, is what they're saying.
Thank you, Crypto Dreams.
Thank you.
Boom. Fair use includes parody / satire. Absolutely. Yep. Thank you for the $2. You're wonderful.
I'll be honest. When I read that story, I had to read it several times to digest it. Because it's convoluted. It sounds like a clusterfuck.
Yep.
And to me, it almost seems like a counter move by Fox to thwart Disney. Because they were saying in that article that it seems like Disney, it seems like that was the whole reason for Disney wanting to buy into Fox was for Sky. So it almost seems like Fox's lawyers got together and did a counter move. Why? Let's make this really difficult and force them to do this. That's just my takeaway from that article. It just seems so weird.
I've heard that this was a couple of days ago. There was actually a number of days that were assigned to the Fox Disney deal being done. And this, like I said, was probably about 4 or 5 days ago. I heard 64 days is how long it is before that's a done deal.
And they're confident they can do it.
Yeah, they're announcing. But I heard later today. Sorry, Susan. I heard later today. It was earlier today. Sorry, later today. It is later today. For Christ's sake, that it was going to be late 2019. That's when they said that they announced that today.
No, they actually just did an earnings call with what's his name from Disney? Iger.
No, Iger's the one who said it would be late 2019 when the deal's finalized.
Oh, yeah, I thought he said the end of summer. The end of the summer.
No, summer of 2019.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I'd heard a couple different
things. Sounds about right.
It
sounds about right. Now that doesn't mean they can't do Fox. They can work out little side deals ahead of it if they know it's going to be a done deal and bring in X-Men character, because that's the only thing we care about is like getting some X-Men in the MCU. I think the timing works out perfectly for them. I don't think they should bring in any X-Men yet. They should wait for the Avengers to get finished. God, I said this in our first podcast. It's going to work out perfect for them. They're going to get Spider-Man back and X-Men right when the Avengers is done running its course, and maybe they can keep it going. And that's a big maybe. That's a big maybe. Because what if they don't do the X-Men good? What if Feige leaves, or he gets pushed up to CEO, or they put him on Star Wars, which there's a lot of clamoring for, by the way. I don't necessarily think that would be a good move, but
Crypto Dreams asked, wait, Fox is buying Sky? Yes, they are. They're in the midst of that little tango right now.
Yes, Viking Bitch, we will do a review of Super Troopers 2. Absolutely. Meow. At least I will.
Yes. So speaking of convoluted properties and things like that, Arrow, Colton James, who played Roy Harper, is going to be coming back to Arrow as a season regular in season 7. Because Thea is now, leaving forever. But Roy has nothing to do now, so he's going to come back as in season 7. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
But Yeah,
You got one you got a Speedy supposedly taking place of a Speedy in a season I probably won't watch, and a show that like went longer than I thought it would. So good for them.
yeah. This is I'm kind of surprised it went to season 7 because we were saying season 5 it should have been done.
I still say that.
Yeah. Oh, I do too.
Yes, Frequency was canceled, Matt.
Yes.
Thankfully.
Yep.
And our friend was very happy.
Kind of like Old Yeller.
Johnny
was taken
Papa
out to the
says
back.
Z. Are you talking about Arrow?
Yeah.
Johnny Papa's? Yeah, I could not agree more. Could not agree more. That show is it's done. I mean, hey, it was fun for a little while. Yeah, it was fun for a little while, but nah.
Matt S says, "What if X-Men show up in Infinity War? Hopefully, everyone's wearing their brown pants."
Yeah, and hopefully Wolverine's wearing his brown uniform.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, because we get to see Wolverine in a costume for a chance.
Yeah, I know.
For a change. I would love that. I would love to see a little cameo, but am I in the minority? I want to see the effing Fantastic Four. I mean, honestly, Fox has done some good stuff with the X-Men, not with the X-Men proper. I mean, like Hugh Jackman was great as Wolverine, but like Legion is phenomenal. Deadpool's one of the greatest superhero movies ever made. And Logan is one of the greatest superheroes movies ever made. So they've done good with what they have now. And honestly, you're not going to get a Logan or a Deadpool out of Marvel ever.
Hey, Susan, I know you're kind of busy, but have you watched any Legion at all? Or
I am going to make time for it. Now I sound like those crazy fans, but no, I really, really want to see it because of the idea behind it and the production team behind it. So, I mean, it seems like it's right up my alley. So I definitely will make time for that.
Yeah, I think you'd really enjoy it. I mean, especially if you're liking Ash versus Evil Dead as much as you are. This is different, definitely, but it's with the same amount of craziness.
Yeah, Cameron's behind it, so I can see that, and it's Noah Hawley's universe.
Yeah.
And look at what he did with Fargo, so yeah, definitely. I will make time for that.
Yeah, and it just gets weirder in season 2. It's so good, though. Yeah. And speaking of weirdness, Anson Mount, who we last saw as Black Bolt in the very short-lived and deservedly so Inhumans, is now going to be playing Christopher Pike, Captain Christopher Pike, on what we lovingly call STD, or Star Trek Discovery.
Sorry.
That's for you, Dennis. That is for you, man.
Yeah, I mean, this guy can't catch a break, man. I don't know what his agent's doing, but first he's on Inhumans, then he's, on Star Trek, STD. So it's yeah. I mean, he's a good actor. The Hell on Wheels was a good show. It was a really good show, and I just feel sorry for the guy. He does look like Christopher Pike, though.
He does. That's actually kind of good casting for that show.
Does he look like Bruce Greenwood or the original Jeffrey Hunter?
The original Jeffrey Hunter.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Hunter. That's right. I did see a picture of him. Wow. Yeah, that is good casting.
Yeah. It's really kind of creepy. I mean, they have the same eyes and everything. It's just really creepy.
We're gonna get Spock too. Like that's the one thing they're being awfully quiet about. Is like Spock is supposed to be on the Enterprise at this point, so we're getting Spock, and
because in my mind, Zachary Quinto, he does him very well because he spent time with Leonard, and he is Leonard's mannerisms and the way his speech pattern is. Well, who in the hell are they going to get to play that? It interests me a lot. Is Kirk going to show up?
Well, if they get Zachary Quinto,
he's not doing anything.
They could really like shoehorn the Kelvin verse into. No, they can't do that. They can't. No, they can't. They can't get him because the movies are a different right than CBS owns the TV rights.
Yeah,
to the original series, so they can't do that. They'll find somebody. And I'm sure they're waiting. There's that'll get announced at Comic-Con.
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
Lucas Miranda says, "Do you guys like where Gotham is heading?" I think I'm the only one that's actually watching where Gotham is heading at this moment. I didn't see the last night's episode. I am going to be watching that soon. And I equate it with kind of like a train wreck where I can't really look away from it, but I'm also kind of amused by it at the same, not that the death or anything like that, but it's a very interesting show. Let's just say that. And I look at it as an Elseworld kind of show, not anything that's part of the DC universe or Batman universe or anything like that. It's an Elseworld Batman completely.
I'm trying to read the comments there. I don't watch Gotham, so I'm sorry. I don't have time. It's not that I hate it. I just don't watch it. Too busy.
I don't know if you guys got a chance. Well,
Seth MacFarlane can play Spock.
That would work.
It would work.
We had talked about this last podcast about the the creators of Westworld, Jonathan Nolan and his wife. Is that right? Lisa Joy. Thank you. They were talking about working with some Reddit users, and they were going to give some Reddit users the plot of season 2. And then they said, okay, you know what? We're just going to give you a trailer with the spoilers out there. It's a 25-minute trailer that they posted on YouTube. And we're going to spoil that trailer for you because it was pretty damn funny. I actually pulled a trick on everyone. I got them to actually watch this. And it starts off with Bernard.
Do we want to do that? Do we really want to do that? Have you guys gone and seen this? Has anybody in the chat seen this?
Yeah, has anybody seen it? Crypto Dream saw it. What'd you think of it? I'm not going to spoil it. I'm just going to say go and watch it.
You know what? We'll like our next podcast. We'll totally talk about it. Sorry to cut you off there, Dennis.
That's okay. That's good.
It's good. Definitely check it out.
It's worth it. It's worth the view. And remember, watch all 25 minutes of it.
You got to watch every second of it. It's really intricate and yeah.
It's very good. Yeah.
We're gonna give you up. We're gonna let you down.
Shh.
That will be the only singing I ever do.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Please, thank you.
Apologies. Watch the viewer just drop off.
Oh.
Yeah, there it went down. Sorry. Shit.
We already have 5 thumbs down now. There's a trailer out there for the movie called The Meg, starring Jason Statham. Statham.
Yes.
Jason Statham versus a gigantic megalodon, which is a prehistoric great white shark. The megalodon is roughly about
It's a big fucking shark.
Yeah, it's about 10, 15 times bigger
shark.
than a great white shark.
During Shark Week back in 2014, was the Discovery Channel hoodwinked everybody in the search for the megalodon. And like, listen, I believe in that woo-woo stuff, and that was some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a big fucking shark. Jason Statham taking on a big fucking shark. I'm there. Take my money. Fuck yeah. I want him to punch it.
Yeah, so full disclaimer. When the Jaws movie came out, way back when it was, I was a wee lad.
Yeah, Dennis was like 30 when that came out. Yeah.
And when the commercials came on, scared the shit out of me so much that I knew that first second of what that trailer was on TV, and I would run out of the room. My brother, of course, knew this. My brother is 10 years older than me, or was 10 years older than me, and used to torment me hourly about it, to the point where I have still to this day have not seen Jaws because I cannot watch it. Yes.
Oh, you've got to watch Jaws.
I can't do it.
That's got to be our first commentary in the Patreon. What do you say? Come on, chat, back me up on this.
Nope, not going to do it.
Back me up. Okay.
I got a psychological fear of it. Sorry, I can't do it.
It's a movie.
I know.
About a rubbery shark.
I know this.
You can't go to Universal Studios. You've been to Universal Studios.
I have not. I've never been to Universal Studios.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so
I think we need some intervention here. Therapy can help that, man. It's helped me a lot.
It was what pushed me into marine biology. of all
There you go.
things. Yes.
Conquering your fear almost.
Kind of, in a way. So I haven't been able to watch the trailer for this. So
It looks great.
yes.
It's Jason Statham versus a big fucking shark.
Mhm.
Man of Action says I can get talking about Star Trek Discovery. I can guarantee you will make it through half of an episode before you want to Captain Kirk kick Michael, the Mary Sue of all Mary Sues. I still, I believe in equal rights. I couldn't hit a girl. But I definitely would want to punch. I would want to, how Captain Kirk does the karate chop at the back of the neck. I'd want to do it to myself.
It's a double fist.
Yeah, I would do it to myself, Man of Action, just to make it stop. But that'll be before Michael Spock tells Spock and Pike and Kirk how to do everything.
Viking bitch, thank you for the $2. Says cyber hug for Dennis.
Cyber hug for Dennis. So you didn't see Sharknado?
I did not see Sharknado. That doesn't bother me because those are really fake looking sharks. But anyway, it's for me. I have a hard time with sharks in movies.
How about the ocean? How are you with the ocean?
The ocean, I'm fine with because I can't see what's coming.
Okay.
How's your father? Says Jason Statham versus Mega Long Dong, a XXX porn parody.
Oh no. Sign me up for that one.
Yeah, I'll watch that one too. What the hell? Hey, I got offered a lot of money to edit some gay porn for kink one time. True story. Dennis knows the story. I said no, though. I said I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, and it was a dumb. Well, just because I don't know. I got kids, and it wouldn't have mattered what. I would have said no to any kind of porn, by the way. So just to make that clear. And we were offered. Dennis, remember when we were offered to shoot the movie at the? So
yeah, you were offered. Yeah, you were offered to have a porn shoot at the store. Yes, I remember.
Yes. Whoa. Yeah, but they only offered me like $1,500 to close my store for a day. I'm like, it's gonna have to be more than that.
Yeah.
More than that. And I have to, by the way, I have to have some creative decisions in the filmmaking too. So
oh no. So Melissa, my coworker here, she goes, what? No aquariums? I do go to aquariums. I have seen sharks in the aquariums. That doesn't bother me. Because great whites, they can't keep them in captivity for very long. Because when they start growing really big, they start eating all the other fish. So they have to bring them back out. And they also die quickly too.
Sharks gotta eat.
And she also says, I heard from a friend, Power Exchange is still in SF. She heard about our previous podcast when we were talking about
Yes. We were talking. Yes, we're full of information here. Yes, there is the Power Exchange in downtown. This episode brought to you by the Power Exchange. Exchange some power in downtown San Francisco. It's just kind of like a handshake.
Club, by the way, Susan. It's a sex club in San Francisco.
Oh, it sounds like it. I was right there.
Yeah,
it's just like a handshake, except a little more lubey and rubbery. So, yeah.
That reminds me of a story that Warren. Remember our friend Warren, who took the great picture of the Galactus painting?
Yes.
He was doing a photo shoot at the Power Exchange. This is during the day. He went in because it was nobody in there during the day, and so he's climbing up on one of these double bunk bed things to kind of get a better vantage point, and his hand went right into some lube.
Dennis. Dennis Bithoulkas.
And yeah, he was like, he got totally skeeved out and was, immediately hot water, all that stuff. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. It was pretty funny.
I like your style, Man of Action. He said sharks are porn to me. Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby.
So we got half an hour before we hit that 2-hour mark here.
Okay, that's good to know. I will keep an eye on it. If we're still rolling, everybody wants to hang out, then let's keep it going. Let's keep it the party going.
So we have a live action Mulan movie that's happening, and they just cast Gong Li, who's a big star over in China, as the witch, Jet Li, who's a big star in both China and the US, as the emperor, and Donnie Yen as Commander Tung, Mulan's mentor.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, and they cast Jason Lee. No, just kidding. There's a lot of Lees in there.
Yes, there are a lot of Lees.
Kirk is
Kink.
amazing company. I enjoyed the Armory. Okay.
Kink is an amazing company.
Kink,
Yes.
Kink. Yeah, sorry, did I say Kirk? Yeah, Kirk is amazing company too. Kink, actually, I have nothing bad to say about that company. They offered me a lot of money to edit. I just, in hindsight, I probably should have taken the job. I'll be honest with you. It was a lot of freaking money. Okay, and it was an easy job, but I didn't. And what about Stan Lee? Says David Hill. We talked about it earlier. He came out with a video on TMZ, David, denying all the allegations of abuse. And there's also been mass flagging of Stan Lee videos on YouTube today, which has gotten people in trouble. Ethan Ben Skyver, our friend, got flagged for a little while and wasn't able to stream for a little while. He can stream again, which is good. And that's happened to us. So I have the greatest sympathy if you lose your ability to stream. Because when you don't stream, it gets clogged up.
Yeah. Crypto Dream says, not trolling. I did some work on the training of O.
Hey, cool. Again, I'm sorry to say it's gone now. Kink is gone. They sold the building. That sucks.
I almost, Chatsworth, California is the porn capital.
Yes, it is.
And when I was living there, I was up for a job in the office of, I want to say Vivid, one of the major porn companies, and I got a counter offer, but I was actually seriously considering it because, I guess I'm a chick that doesn't have a problem with porn. I mean, I not that I watch it like all the time or anything, but there's nothing wrong with it. I'll just say that.
No. And I don't judge at all. Hell no. I know people who have worked at Kink. One of my good friends worked at Kink. So it's no big deal. It really isn't. It's all adult stuff. Everybody knows what they're doing. And by the way, our Nerdrotic logo comes from an old porn logo. That's where I ripped it off from. It was some shaded glasses, right? And it was at the right angle, so I grabbed that image, and that's what I based our freaking logo off of. Was
nice.
Some porn thing I was Googling one day. I'm like, oh, I like that. It just happens to be porn. No big deal. And yeah, I was actually trying to look for it, and I will not share. I put porn logo sunglasses, and I'm not going to. I got a bunch of sunglasses, but it's just, you know what? Let's just not go there. It's not that important.
There was actually a pretty funny line that I heard from a TV show I'm not going to mention because it doesn't need any more promotion on it. But the person said, don't Google, if you're looking for a job, don't Google fantasy jobs because it's not going to come up with what you think.
Okay. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, it's Susan, Wholesome Susan, says Edward Brewer. I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
Susan's very wise. We'll just say that.
Oh.
And not in a bad way.
AMC has ordered a 10-episode direct-to-series adaptation of Joe Hill, who is Stephen King's son, by the way, novel NOS 4A2, which is a horror novel. So they're going to be making this into a television series.
Text for Nosferatu.
Ah, there we go. Nosferatu.
Nosferatu in text form. Yeah.
I'm old, so I didn't get that.
That's okay. There's an old joke around that had me laughing so hard today, and I know it's been around forever, but like the new Millennium Falcon they're calling Solo Soyo. A Star Wars story, and they call it the Millennial Falcon. That made me laugh so fucking hard. It's super on the nose, but goddamn, that's funny.
That's pretty damn good.
Millennial Falcon. I'm sorry. Joe Hill he looks just like his dad.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, there's no doubt that is Stephen King's son. But he's a good writer. It's a good writer. Good for him. I'm looking forward to the series. What is it? Castle Rock. the Castle Rock series. I actually kind of want to see that.
Oh yeah, the one about all the weird stuff happening in Castle Rock.
I wish they would have just done Needful Things, the series, although that's Friday the 13th, the series, and we're on Friday the 13th, by the way, which was a damn good TV show, by the way. Did you see Friday the 13th, Susan?
Yes.
That was a good show.
Love me some Brody.
Well, King is coming out with the Talisman. That's the latest news. If you guys read that book years ago, it was a collaboration between him and Peter Straub. And I'm so interested as to how they're going to put that together.
That's one of those few books. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
It's one of those few books that they could actually cut out a bunch of shit and it would probably do it some justice, because that book was boring. I mean, it's like great concept, but to me, it was really boring. I don't know.
Yeah.
I watched it. I read it, but I did read it when I was like 14. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to check it out again. Maybe I was wrong.
Oh, Crypto Dreams, $2. Shouts to Susan from IP to porn. Great convo. We have covered the gambit of all kinds of things. We've talked about megalodon, giant sharks, megalongdongs, IP and elder abuse. We can't get any weirder than this one.
Oh, wow. Yes, come for the IP, stay for the elder abuse. Nerdrotic channel. Or come for the megalongdongs.
Should we throw alleged in there somewhere?
Alleged
elder
Allegedly.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Oh my.
So speaking of alleged, so NBC has a show called The Reverie, and it's going to be about an ex-hostage negotiator that talks people out of virtual reality programs.
I mean, can I just I read this. Once again, I want to be in on these pitch meetings. I want to be an executive. Because when I read that, I thought, okay, this is interesting. It's an interesting concept. But why do these people keep on getting lost? And if they keep on getting lost, shut down the fucking program. And raid the place and just shut it down. And that's the end of it.
Slap a hazard label on it.
He's gonna, every show he's gonna go in there going, okay, I have this really technique. I need to be alone while I'm negotiating everything. Close the door, and then he just turns off the machine or something, or unplugs it. Okay, it's done.
I mean. And then I'm like, okay, how are they going to sustain this show? And is it going to turn into Virtuosity? Remember that old film with Denzel and
VR5 with Larry Singer?
Right. I mean, when I just read that, I started laughing. I'm like, so these people are getting lost. Shut it down. I don't even know how this made it through to get a green light. Honestly, I do not know. And it's got Dennis Haysbert in it.
I know,
yeah,
and also, what's her name from Person of Interest? Now I'm blanking on her name.
So they're just trying to shoehorn anything. They still want to make procedural cop dramas.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just trying to but the millennials will love virtual reality. That's it.
What's hot right now?
What's hot right now? Yeah,
virtual reality, and we're gonna marry this with CSI.
Yeah,
CSI. Yeah.
Or in their case, if it's NBC, it's like this. It probably went down like this. SVU has been on for 100 years. What if we put it in virtual reality? Oh my God, the 30-somethings they'll love that. Let's do this. This is genius. Yeah.
And we'll put it on Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. That way we can show a naked butt or two.
Yep. Yeah. And it will run for 27 years.
Because when you negotiate, there's naked butts all over the place.
Sweeps week. They might as well just call it Cheeks week. I agree. Man of Action on a serious side. I hope they get Blumhouse to do the shows. That would actually make it good, probably. They should make television shows. I agree. Holy crap. The only Crypto Dream says the only good sci-fi show was BSG, and they moved it to NBC and now sci-fi the only good sci-fi show like back then. Sci-fi's good now. They have lots of good stuff
Yeah.
The Expanse. If you haven't seen The Expanse yet, watch it. That's
Even Krypton's okay. Oh, by the way, yeah, we're not going to be doing Krypton till the finale, so we're done recapping it because yeah, double headers are just not possible.
yeah, they kill us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have day jobs.
Yeah, and unlike the job I had before, where I could roll into work with like 3 hours sleep and be fine because it really didn't take a lot of brain power. My new job, actually, I have to think at that job. So, and I was a hot mess on Thursday. So that is not happening again. Sorry. So we can talk about it here on Friday night, though.
Yes, Crypto Dreams. The Expanse is on the Sci-Fi Channel there. It's just starting off season 3. You can watch the first 2 seasons on Amazon if you have Prime. And I believe on Hulu as well. Is that correct?
That depends. If Crypto Dreams, we don't know if you're in if you're in Europe, it's on Netflix.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
really good stuff. Crypto Dreams. If you haven't watched it yet, the first season.
Alexandra says the BSG comment was a response to a Discovery conversation. Thank you, Alexandra.
Okay,
I should read everything in context. I can't say the word. But you know what I'm saying. Sorry about that. Okay. Thank you for the clarification, Alexandra.
I can't tell if Ed Brewer is being sarcastic or not. He says Westworld with a question mark.
Edward is always sarcastic, but in the best of ways. Westworld. We talked about kind of Westworld. I kind of want to save it for our podcast coming up that we've got. I have to go back and look at some of our old stuff and get our theories, kind of collate all our theories, because we had some like really bad ones that were not even close, and then we were close on a couple things. The cool thing about Westworld is we're getting 5 seasons of Westworld. That is it. And that's why they delayed the shooting for the first season so they could map out where they wanted to go, and they actually did a bunch of reshoots and to do that, to make it a cohesive story. The weird thing about Westworld is, like, how long can you be in Westworld? Like, it looks like they're going to be kind of done with the whole Westworld part of it this season, unless of course the robot rising or whatever gets completely squashed and everything is reset, which could be interesting depending on how they go from there. Westworld will, if they continue with the quality that they did with season 1, will be as popular as Game of Thrones, without a doubt. I think it's getting there, like, quicker than Game of Thrones took till like season 3 and 4 to get like through the roof crazy. I was in on the first episode, and a lot of people were, but the Red Wedding brought in a lot of people. That was season 3. So and season 4 to me was their best season. I think Westworld will get as many people, if not a little more, to watch. It's that good.
Viking Bitch asks, just curious, Gary and Dennis, do you read the whole chat later when you rewatch the videos?
The one that's scrolling right now, the live chat. I can't say the whole thing, but most of it. Yeah. I read all the comments. I can't respond to any, but little secret, I listen to all of our podcasts again the next day, just to find out like what I'm doing wrong.
And I'm actually
show notes.
I'm reading through the comments. I actually have the comments covering Gary's face at the moment because I see that mug all the time. So it's better just to cover that thing over. And I'm reading your comments live as they're happening. That's why
we do our very best to get to them as much as possible. I'm even like, sometimes I'll scroll back up, and that's why I'll shout stuff up randomly. Because we do care what you say. We really do.
Yeah. Pen Farm Girl says, how do you have time? See, there's this little pocket universe. I've said too much now. Sorry.
We don't. I do stuff like listen to our podcasts at work and read comments at work, or like first thing in the morning, I get a cup of coffee, make my wife some coffee, and my phone is in my hand and I'm reading, and it's getting I mean, this is a great problem to have. It's not a bad problem, but our station's averaging well, at the bare minimum, a couple thousand views a day. So I'm still getting comments from like American Gods from 8 months ago that I'm responding to. So it's not just the new stuff, it's the old stuff too. My phone, I just got on that Discord thing, and my phone is just like notification after notification after notification. But I love it. I try to get back to everything. I really do. It's a little hard sometimes, but it's a good problem to have. If people give a shit about your stuff, it's on us to like try to get back to you. If you bother to write something in the chat, we should be reading it, you know?
Yeah. And if you write stuff in the comments, I actually try and go through and do the comments as well on YouTube, and also cover, if people ask questions on our Facebook page, I answer on there, and also in the our group chat that we have that's going on Facebook as well. So I try and cover that as much as possible, because I also collate the news and put that up there. And yeah, that's a little bit kind of tricky. I have some stuff that collates news and sends it to me, so I can actually take a look. And then every now and then when I have some time, I scroll through and I see what's out there in the world to see what's happening, see what's down,
Right.
what the
I'm
kids
sure
are.
Susan, I mean, to write for her, you probably do the same thing. You can set Google to like give you notifications on like keywords. And of course I have Nerdrotic in there. So anytime somebody mentions the word Nerdrotic, I get a notification about it.
Yeah.
Which isn't a whole lot, so it's no big deal. But we should get to a Susan article. Dennis, go through the chat while we're talking about that. Go through the chat a little bit while I find a Susan article.
Matt S says, "What's the plan to cover Avengers on the podcast?"
That's the plan initially is to do it Friday night. We're gonna the Friday it opens. We're gonna talk about it now. I think we should kind of do a two-parter. We should kind of do a non-spoiler one, because not everybody can see it Friday, and maybe push that to Sunday, and hopefully everybody's seen it by Sunday, and we can all talk about it with the spoilers and everything. Because I know everybody can't see it Thursday or Friday. We're Dennis and I are going to say, I already have my tickets for Thursday.
Yeah, I have my tickets for Thursday.
Are you going to see it, Susan?
Avengers, I may or may not. It depends on my schedule. So we'll have to see with that one.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Sorry, you were going to say?
We're going to go to Susan's article here.
Okay, perfect.
Before we get to that 2-hour mark. So I just picked one. So it says Ash vs. Evil Dead musical episode and Beyond the Series by Susan Leighton. And why don't you tell us a little bit about this, Susan?
Well, last weekend, Bruce Campbell, Ray Santiago, and Dana DiLorenzo, along with Teresa Tilly and Betsy Baker from the original Evil Dead, they were in Dortmund, Germany for Weekend of Hell. And this was from a panel discussion that I felt was very interesting that fans may want to know about. And it all started out with Dana DiLorenzo admitting that she and Ray were lobbying Rob Tappert for a musical episode of the show. Now, I got to admit, I'm not really a fan of musical episodes. It's almost like jumping the shark to me. But what was interesting about it was I was like, well, how would that even have fit into the Evil Dead universe? And secondly, I did not know that Ray could sing. And everybody that follows Dana knows that she's an Amy Winehouse, aficionado, and she sings her whenever she can. She does karaoke, and she has a really good voice. Well, Ray ended up actually singing at the ballet from a chorus line, or he sang a snippet of it. The man has an incredible voice. So I was blown away by that. And the reason why this started with the musical episode is because in Apparently Dead, Bruce and Lucy got together and did the kids from Bye Bye Birdie. And Dana saw it with everyone else. And she's like, wait a minute, that's Bruce, isn't it? That's Lucy. She didn't know they were doing it. So that kind of sparked her interest in it. And of course, this never came to fruition. But then what really captured my interest was the way Bruce segued into life beyond the series. And he's like, whether you want the series to go on, whether you don't, it can't. It can't go on forever. So, Ray, what do you have coming up? And Ray is currently shooting a movie about David Bowie's death, and there's time travel involved. So
Oh,
he
wow.
said that he's always going to pull from his experiences with Evil Dead, like jumping through wormholes and everything. So it's always going to be a part of his world. And it was interesting at the end, because Ray, this is what I got from this. I'm going to have to throw allegedly because I don't know, but allegedly it felt like a goodbye. Ray said to the fans at Dortmund, he's like, this is a lifetime of meeting people who have an appreciation for what we created. And thank you so much, because they were so overwhelmed by the passion of the German fans that really came out and loved Ash versus Evil Dead and loved what they've done. They weren't as critical, because I listened to the panels of them. They were just happy to see these guys. And at the end, Bruce said, join me in singing Donka Shame. Well, of course, he changes the words from joy and pain to blood and pain. And, that's apropos. But the whole time I felt like this was a goodbye. They're like, our time's come to a close here, which it did. But the vibe that I'm getting now with Dana being out there on Twitter, especially tonight, she threw some behind the scenes of her from Tales from the Rift. She also thanked everybody in Dortmund for their overwhelming response. I just get the sense that it's time. It's coming. Like I said, I can't say definitively, but just with that little, tidbit that I got, that I felt that people would want to know that Ray can sing and what he's doing, that he has a movie and everything, and beyond the series. So that's why I wrote that. That's what that's about. And it just seems like it's coming. I don't know when. Like I said, it probably won't be till May when we hear anything, but yeah. That's why I wrote that. So that's what that particular article is about.
Well, I'm with Ed Brewer. Bowie and time travel, I'm in as well.
Yeah, me too.
That was really great. No, and it sounds like people are coming to terms with, like we are, with the end of Ash vs. Evil Dead, and we'll talk about that on the Ash vs. Evil Dead podcast. And I don't know how that got over there, but thank you, Susan. And yeah, that's something we're gonna do regularly on Friday, is showcase some of her work. She does fine work. Please check her out at 1428elm.com. It's a fan-sided website, and you put stuff up daily, right?
Right.
Daily.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. Like she's,
I have an upcoming article that should be out tomorrow where Bruce Campbell tells us all how to be a B-movie legend.
Awesome.
Nice.
That is brilliant. And we will read it. We got some chatter in here about Westworld season 2. A lot of people are, and that's another thing we're going to talk about. We can talk about it here for a few minutes if you like. We're almost at the 2-hour mark here. We're about 5 minutes away, but I want to go over some of this. Doug, I keep wanting to say Dougie because it's in your name, Doug, but it's actually Douglas. Westworld crossover with Jurassic World. Why not? There was that talk of it crossing over into Game of Thrones, which I think that'd be really weird, but possible. And May's daughter, K Sizzle says, May's child is located in Samurai World. Yeah, they said section 2 of the park, but we're assuming that's it's not. Is it Samurai World?
Shogun World.
World. Thank you. Shogun World, not Samurai World. They're not going to be doing samurai, but I bet you they're going to do like medieval and future,
Roman world.
And I think they're going to probably borrow from some of the sequel, Future World, where they were kidnapping in that movie. They were kidnapping politicians and replacing them. The Delos Corporation. Yeah.
Crypto Dreams, $2 for 1428.com.
Wow.
1428elm.com. Excuse me.
Crypto Dreams. You're wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, I cannot wait for the show. I'm really interested to see what the response is to. I think it's going to be huge. I think it's going to be really huge. We are going to be live. So the East Coast feed on HBO is at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so it's 9 p.m. over there. And we're going to be on like 5 minutes after it's over. We're going to be right on. We're going to be ready to go. Melissa's going to be part of that one. So yes, Mama's coming back. She's sorry she didn't make The Expanse. She might come talk about Lost in Space with us this weekend.
Okay, cool.
Which is, yeah, that's another thing we're going to continue doing is kind of what we do with Netflix is we talk about it a little bit on Friday. And if we decide we like it, we split it into 2 podcasts, the first half of the series and the second half. They are filled with spoilers though, and we watch it pretty quick. So yeah, so the part 1 will be probably Sunday, I'm thinking. Check nerdrotic.com for the schedule.
Sorry, I was just laughing because my coworker Melissa says I am, and she started laughing because you said Melissa's going to be on with us, and
yes,
it's his wife. Yeah, his wife is Melissa. She knows that.
Melly Mel.
She's just
Shogun World is just a core, says Alexandra. We have no clue as to what plots will go through there. Absolutely, you are so correct. It could be just concept. It might not actually be a world because they were inside the Delos building and all we saw was some Shoguns. So that could be just a concept. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yes, Ed Brewer, Thunderdome versus Feisty Fan tomorrow is what Gary's going to be doing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you want to check me out on I Love Comics, who just started a live stream right now, I will be with Feisty Fan, who was in here earlier, and we're doing Comic Book Thunderdome, where we debate. It's basically we have to pick stuff and we debate it. And I will crush her. I will absolutely crush her. Told me not to hold back, so I'm not gonna.
Cisa Mays, watch more than the first 20 minutes of Lost in Space. It's actually not bad. It's a lot of fun, I thought.
Yeah, I liked it too, but if you don't, we still love you, Cisa Mays. That just know that. I always say, just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not good. Not that in love with my opinion. I like a lot of shit. Okay. So it's all good. The podcast is dark and full of spoilers. Yes, we are a spoiler podcast.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. Sorry.
Since we're at that mark, should we start thanking the Patreons? And
yes, I'm going to go thank our Patreon. Dennis, do some credits. And
all right.
And then Susan can plug her wares.
I want to say thank you to Cisa Mays, Viking Bitch, Ed Brewer, K Sizzle, Crypto Dreams, Alexandra Sandu, Dougie J, who I saw in there. I said Viking Bitch, Penn Farm Girl. I know there's quite a few other people. Johnny Pappas, Davis 404, Matt S, Man of Action, Lucas Miranda. How's your father? And I believe there's a few more people. Savage Ascension. And I know I'm missing a few other
people. Feisty Fan was there too.
Feisty Fan was here earlier. That's right. She had to leave because and David Hill. Thank you all for joining us this evening. And also Melissa, my coworker Melissa. She was I know she's watching and she's just been messaging me via Google Chat. So thank you for coming in and having some fun with us tonight. And also thank you, Susan, again for joining us, because it's always been a lot of fun.
Yes, and please plug your wares, Susan.
Yes.
Okay. Like they said before, you can always catch my articles at 1428 Elm. You can chat with me on Twitter about all things movies, popular culture, music. I'm all over the map at Susan on the Ledge, and you can find me on Facebook at my Facebook page, Susan Leighton. So come holler at me there too. Post some interesting things, not just all popular culture. I do post some of my photographs on occasion, so it's like a hodgepodge. So that's where you can usually find me when I'm not here.
Excellent. And I'd like to thank our lovely and talented patrons, who are Penn Farm Girl, the Great Apple Crow, Christian Echo, Shakuri Lama, Eric, Richard Seth Jones, Viking Bitch, Feisty Fan, Lawrence Howe, Isaiah Norton, Fanon Ruff, Johnny, the great Johnny Pappas, JD Gallo, Brian Smart, and Arturo Espinoza. Thank you all for your support and your loyalty. I cannot thank you enough. I do have to put a shout out to Feisty Fan, Lawrence Howe, Isaiah Norton, and Shakuri. Why I always say Shukri? I know your name is Shakuri. I know
he
you.
just goes by Shuck.
Shook. Your packages will be shipped this weekend. I've been on the lag train on the lower tiered stuff, and I hope everybody enjoyed their packages. And once again, if you're on the higher tiers, you get something every 6 months. So, and it's going to be, and I try to shake it up. It's going to be something very cool. Your next package will be Comic-Con oriented. We'll just say that.
And Cisa Mays as well, because he's on that $5 list, right?
Did I say your real name, Cisa Mays?
Probably said his real name, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Cisa Mays. I see Isaiah Norton. I see Feisty Fan and Lawrence Howe on the $5 and Fan on Roof. And there's Arturo Espinoza. But if you're not there, we will talk. We'll find out what's happened. Then, if you were expecting a package, back channel me. You can always contact me. The email is attached to our YouTube channel. So go to the About, and our email's right there. Feel free to email me anytime. I'll get back to you. Try to get back to you within 48 hours. Also, you can message me on Facebook. You can @ me at Twitter. Do what you need to do to get a hold of me. Especially if we owe you some packages, but definitely thank you for that. And yeah, next one's going to be a lot of fun Comic-Con stuff from last year and this year. And Brian Smart, we owe you something big, my friend. It's taken way too long. That's going out on Sunday as well. You're getting something from Dennis too. So, and I found your address. It was in my email. So
okay, great. I was going to ask you that.
Thank you for the great Brian Smart so much. I don't see you on there, Cisa Mays, unless you're under a different name, but definitely hit me up an email if there's a problem. Okay. We'll get it handled. Trust me. We will take care of you, buddy. No problem. So, Cisa Mays. We are not going to forget Cisa Mays. And Cisa Mays also has given us super chats in the past. Correct?
Yeah.
So you got to thank him for the super chats. I think I owe him at least 5 or 6 thank yous. So thank you, Cisa Mays. You are a wonderful listener, and all you guys are great. And Crypto Dreams, thanks for all the super chats. And tonight super chats are so many from Crypto Dreams. Jesus Christ.
Crypto Dreams, it is more beneficial to you if you become a patron.
If you become a patron, you get really cool stuff back. So definitely check it out. It's patreon.com/nerdrotic. Think about it. Yeah. Johnny Pappas, $1.99. Viking Bitch, $2. Dakota Stanton, thank you so much again, $10. And Crypto Dreams, 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I getting that right? 4 times at $2. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So everybody, we're gonna end it here. I could probably go on forever, but I actually got a ton of work to do. So but I'll come back on Monday. I'll be back for the Monday live stream, or come back and see us Friday. We're going to be doing tomorrow night. Are we doing something tomorrow night?
Yeah, we've got Lost in Space.
That's Sunday.
Is that Sunday? Sunday. Take that back.
It's Sunday. Yeah, tomorrow night I cannot. I've actually got friends coming into town, so I gotta go out to dinner. So if I do have something scheduled, it's moved to Sunday. Trust me.
All right.
And no, wait, I got Thunderdome tomorrow. That's right.
Yes, Thunderdome.
I keep forgetting. Thank you, Penn Farm Girl. I wouldn't have forgot tomorrow. I have dinner after Thunderdome tomorrow, so I can't do. So yeah, Lost in Space is Sunday. Lost in Space, and then the Monday live stream is Monday. So unless I change it.
Cool.
Take us out, man.
Children of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out.
May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Say bye, Susan.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Night,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye. Thank you, Ed. Thank you. We could not do this stuff without you guys in the stream. You guys make this podcast. So just wanted to say that.
Thank
one
you,
more time.
everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.